Sometimes in life we wonder how we can become a little better than we were yesterday. And we meet people in our way that can inspire us and speed light on the confusion that we have in life. So today, we are here with Juan Antonio. He is from Venezuela. He's a master NLP trainer. And he's here to share with us some of his insight and inspiration about life and how we can become a better version of ourselves. So Juan, I'm very glad for you to be here. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Very excited. I've seen that you have done this for a while. I've seen your post on Facebook, doing some seminars, conference. So we're on the same wavelength.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love it. Always love to get inspired, hear more stories. Always get me excited. So, let's begin from maybe a short beginning. Maybe you can share with us a little bit about what you do, about yourself, and then we're going to dive into insights of how our listeners can take steps and change their mindset, their perspective, and their life to become a better version of themselves.
Sure. I was born in Venezuela. I lived in Venezuela until 2020, then which I was here at Orlando helping out with Dr. Bandler and John Kathleen Laval and the certifications that they did or do, and COVID hit. So that my airport closed, this airport closed, and 4 years later, I have a new baby, I have a wife, 4 kids, so life is wonderful. And just like you said, I had the option of being sat in a hotel room that actually they sent me a letter saying, in 3 days, we're going to close the hotel. So I had to find a place to go. I found an Airbnb. And when you look back, I can say, a very nice business that I created here because I was based in Venezuela and teaching in 19 countries, 4 languages. But the thing is that what would you do? You stop or you think, where do I want to be in 3 or 4 years if I decide to remain here? And that is one thing that I learned from Dr. Bandler because there's a concept in NLP that's reverse engineering. And it's very cool because as you learned when you were in the training with Dr. Bandler, one of the purposes of our conscious mind is to aim at your goal, right? And the other mind that we have, the unconscious mind, actually is the one that drives. So the people that are listening to us and they're driving, when they arrive home or they arrive to the gym or they arrive to the school of their kids, if I ask them as soon as they stop the car, how many times did you hit the brakes? How many times did you hit the gas, the light to the left, the right? They're going to say no fucking clue. And even though they were not aware of that, they cannot deny that they made those decisions. And that is, for me, one beautiful word, because those decisions of turn to the left, turn to the right, hit the gas, were based on what you learn. Therefore, our brain is designed to save energy, and you create habits or a cortical pathway that we can call driving. But at the same time, you learn things of how they should be. How should I earn money? How should I have good health? But that's only an idea. That's only an idea. And based on those ideas, 90% of the day and night, while you're awake, you make those decisions. You're chewing a piece of meat, and once you swallow it, I ask you, so how many times did you chew? He's like, what? Yeah, you were chewing, or what? You're a zombie? No. Oh, okay, good. So when I got trapped here, because that was the word, I couldn't get out. Now it's easier to get in, even by a river, right? One of the things that I did was, where would I want to be in 2 years? Where would I want to be in 3 years? And the beautiful thing about reverse engineering is that you do it in a trance. And the reason, or one of the main reasons, is that your conscious mind is where you have your excuses. So when I said I want to be doing seminars all around the US, if I wouldn't be in a trance, my conscious mind will say, hey, remember one time that you went to a country and nobody went to a seminar? So, because that is also a purpose of your conscious mind. That's where your excuses are. But the thing is, and this is magical, the thing is that in 2020, I was not the same person in 2017 when I did a first seminar, I don't know, in Colombia, and only one person showed up. From that moment on, I've learned so much. So now when you're doing reverse engineering, you're doing it in a trance with the resources that you have today. Your excuses are based on what you did one time. It could be yesterday, and today you're a totally different person, or it could be years ago, and you think history is going to repeat. So that is one thing that I really really enjoy when I plan my things. That I go into a trance and say where would I want to be, and then I go one step backwards, 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 and now you have a blueprint without excuses. So I was in the military in my country. That is part of my background. I've been playing basketball and soccer for more than 3 years. I'm 48 right now, and to me, one of the most beautiful things that happened to me was in 2013. I went to London to do my first seminar with Dr. Bandler, and McKenna was there also, and they were doing the secrets of hypnosis. I had a small company that we produce medical equipment. And I went there because in the brochure it said, learn conversational hypnosis so you can sell better. I was like, oh, I like that concept. Sell more, more money. And what I realized is that what I learned was not only for the selling. When you do, for example, a practitioner, you learn the meta model, you learn the Milton model, and you can practice this with anybody that breathes and technically speaks the same language as you. So what I realize is that if you understand that language is according to the context, people think that being obsessive or obsession is a bad thing. Obviously, if you have a stalker, it's a bad thing. But tell me, do you think the people that represent our country in the Olympics, they practice this because it's a hobby for them, or they're obsessed of being number one? They're obsessed of having the gold. Because obsession now, when you apply it to a person that plays sports, it's a completely different meaning. I have right now a 15-month-year-old boy. His name is Ivar. And when my wife is breastfeeding him on her left breast, and suddenly she runs out of milk, she manipulates him to the other. Oh, but manipulation is bad. No, manipulation is moving from point A to point B. And what I want to tell people all the time is that sometimes you want to do something, and based on an idea that you have, you don't want to do it, and you never stop and say, "Wait a minute, when did I learn this idea? When did I learn that obsession is bad? Who told me that obsession is bad?" Because if you're obsessed of creating the best podcasts, of using the best technology so you can have a very nice product, then you're not obsessed. In my mind, you just want to be the best version of yourself. And the more you practice with a methodology and knowing that there has to be a purpose for a practice. So when you're playing basketball, you have percentages. So this shot from the corner of the free throw, if I shoot it 100 times and I make 60, the purpose of the practice the next day is that at least I have to make 60 and I have to aim to 61, because that is one thing that people confuse. They confuse the action with progression. And if you're not aware that everything that you do, you can do it better, as simple as that. Even the word personality in our world is a normalization, because you can change your personality as you can change a sock, because it's just repeating patterns. And if there's a pattern that you have and you don't like, you can change it. for the better.
I think it's a great idea also for our listeners to pay attention to. If there is a pattern that they don't like, they can change. So maybe you can share with us a technique or something they can start doing right after our conversation that will help them change their patterns in their life that they're not happy with or they want to change or make better.
Yeah, this is a fascinating subject because there is one thing that we called ecology in NLP. When you decide to create a new goal in your life, you know that one of the main conditions is that it has to be in the positive. That means that if I'm earning, for example, $10,000 and I sell insurance, right? That's kind of like the average of income that I have, and I say, I want to have more money, your brain says, all right, $1 more, that's it. So you have to be a little bit more specific and you say, okay, I want to reach 18,000 and four goals in 4 months. Good. So every goal is based on new behaviors, new skills, and new beliefs. So once you figure that out, then that depends on whom. Depends on whom, because if I'm swimming, it's me against me, even though I have other competitors, but it's me against my time. And in sales, it's you developing persuasion skills, calibration of the person, eye accessing cues, representational systems, meta programs that they're running while they're speaking to you, and how to package that information based on them and deliver it tailor-made for them. But there's a third point in which in the world out there, outside of NLP, they say, are you self-sabotaging yourself? And this is a beautiful, beautiful thing because I said one of the main things that your brain is designed to do is to save energy. That's why we create habits. But there's another thing that your brain is designed to do, which is protect you. And protect you is based on what you think is bad and it's good. So I had a client that his goal was actually making more money. He learned persuasion and he started to practice his skills, right? Because if not, it's like, okay, I'm going to the gym. Yeah, I'm going. And are you training? No, but I'm going. Oh, hey, life is training. So we don't talk about swimming. You get in the fucking pool and you swim, and then they make your technique better. And that's how your time gets better. So the point is that after 1 month that he did a course of persuasion, he went to 12,000. I was like, oh, great. And then he called me and was like, hey, I'm in 15,000. I was like, wow, that's great. And then the next month, third one, he called me. He's like, hey, Juan, something happened. I was like, what? I'm in 11,000. So I just say something to test him. Well, maybe it's the market. It's like, no, it's not the market. I'm meeting the same amount of people each time. So it's my skills, but something happening. And then the fifth month, he went to 7,000. I was like, this is weird. He told me, it's like, you never know. So I saw him at Miami, and I had a session with him, and I told him, close your eyes. I put him in a small trance. I set up finger signaling, and I told his unconscious, show him one good thing if he reaches the goal, right? And show it in a movie screen. Once you show it, move your finger. All right, good. Now show him a bad thing. Listen to me. A bad thing if he achieves his goal. Show it in a movie screen and then let me know with a finger. Good. So now we go down to the second option. If he doesn't reach the goal, he remains the same. Show him a good thing. And then if he doesn't reach the goal, show him a bad thing. All right, good. So when he came out of the trance, I asked him, so what did you see if you achieved your goal? Oh, I saw myself traveling with my wife, paying the mortgage more quicker. That's beautiful. And tell me, what did you see the negative if you achieve your goal? Well, nothing. I just saw myself paying the IRS. It's like, oh, but you were happy. It's like, no, I was like, no. So think about it. Even though your conscious mind said and aimed at the goal, if his belief when he pays that IRS is all this country giving all this money and blah, 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 and he's getting mad. When you set up a goal, my friend, one of the things that your unconscious does that we consciously normally don't do, he runs all the long films with all the scenarios. And the unconscious mind said, in a way, if she could say it, oh, we made 12,000 first month. This is good. Oh, when 15,000. Wow. I don't know. I don't know. And then when he went back to 11, guess what? He only had to send an email and he was going to get the money. He only had to send the Zelle and he was going to get the money. He had the arrangement of a seminar room for a group of people so they can sign up for insurance. And he said that he wanted to stay that day because he had a small headache. The unconscious mind, in a way, said, if this guy pays this amount of tax normally and his blood pressure is going like the roof and he has ulcers, if he reaches his goal, we're going to die of a heart attack. So think about it. Even though consciously, Yuval, you wanted to make this amount of money, the belief, his belief, remember, everybody has their own demons. His belief of feeling bad paying to the IRS, the unconscious mind said, we're going to have a heart attack. We're going to die if we reach this amount of money. So what people say self-sabotage is actually your unconscious mind protecting you of a belief that you have over there. So once I remember, everybody sees it differently, right? So what I did is I did a small reframe, right? So the more money you do, the more money you have in your account, but technically the government's taking the same percentage. So it's not that it's taking more money, it's the same percentage. So beautiful. Same thing happened to me with a woman that wanted to lose 40 pounds. And suddenly when she started to lose weight, she had these attacks of anxiety and start eating again and regaining the weight. So she booked a session with me and she said, hey, I have this problem. I was like, good. So we set up the goal, put her in a trance. And what she saw in the negative, if she achieved the goal, is that money-wise, she was not good at that moment. And for people that are overweight, they understand that when you lose weight and reach your ideal weight, you actually have to buy even new shoes. So she got so scared unconsciously when she was losing weight that her anxiety was actually her unconscious saving her money for changing the whole wardrobe. And remember, a lot of people would say, "Oh, I'll be happy. I'll give that clothes away. I'll do I don't know a torch in the forest and dance while I'm burning the old clothes." But at the end, my friend, if your unconscious mind is not sold the idea of your conscious goal, you're going to self sabotage. You are going to be protected against yourself. So, one of the main reasons why people don't achieve goals is that they don't know what is it that they can lose if they achieve the goal. So, my advice, because I train Olympic athletes, think about an Olympic athlete and every goal that you want to achieve, you it, in my experience, is think that that goal is winning the gold medal. So if you have a family, suppose, right? One kid, family, dog, do you think that Olympic athlete, in order to achieve his goal, because it's his goal, is his neck, the gold medal, right? Do you think he's going to be in every play or every dance that the girl, the daughter is going to be? Do you think that that person is going to be in every barbecue of the family? Do you think he's going to be in every party, staying up night like regular people? Or he's going to do sacrifices in order to achieve his goal. So my advice to people is that when you get inside an airplane, they teach you to be selfish because they teach you in case of a decompression, the masks are going to come down. And if you're traveling with an older person or a young kid, put yours first and then help them. Because if not, you're like, put it on, put it. No, you put it. And that's it. So it's your goal, and your family has to be on board with your decision in order for you to achieve that. That means that when you're not training, if you never help your kid doing homework, now you're super dad. Now you're super mom. If you never walk the dog, now if you're home, now you're 100% dog owner. So in that way, you can compensate the time that you're not giving to your family, but now the time that you're giving to him, it's quality time. So a lot of people don't reach also their goals, my friend, because they put themselves in the position of the other people and think that they're going to feel bad because this or that. And at the end of the day, you are going to be in the podium. You're the one that is going to look back of all the hours of training, all the days that you woke up when the sun was not even up and you were training, when you said no to your wife, no to your kids because you were on a mission. And once you achieve that, believe me, life is wonderful because your family, your kids will understand that in order to achieve everything, what you think that life is in an equilibrium, it's not true. In the doctor's office, when in the hospital, and you have this thing connected to your heartbeat that's connected to your finger. When do you see the equilibrium in the monitor? Doot, 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 doot. There's no equilibrium. When is the equilibrium? When you're dead. So life is not about finding that equilibrium, my friend. Life is about knowing when to do 100% one thing. Because remember, a theory dies when with practice, we do something different. People say multitask. For the people that have that theory, I hope not, but let's suppose that your mother or your father has a tumor in their brain, and when you see through the window in their operation room, the neurologist is multitasking. He's operating on your parent's brain, he's having a pedicure, he's talking to the nurse, and he's giving a lecture. Would you feel comfortable? I think the answer is no. So if you don't trust a neurologist to do multitasking on your brain, why would you trust on your ability to focus on 5 things when you should be focusing only on one thing? That's why we don't manage time. We manage focus when we're doing something. The more you learn how to manage your focus, the better it's going to be. And when you work with kids that have ADD, 99% of them, the fucking label, when they're playing soccer and that somebody passes them the ball and the ball is coming, they don't see a fly coming and the ball goes there. They know how to manage focus. So once you understand that if they need to learn how to use the machine that they focus on soccer in math and history, then they become functional. And that has been the history of my work because that's what I do. I work one-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one. And that is basically what I have been doing for the last 10, 11 years, my friend.
That's incredible. You shared some great insights over here for all of us to take and change that mindset and understanding of how we work and how this mental process
Yeah,
works,
because
which
whether you
is
like it or
very,
not,
very important.
you think you drive. No, the other you drives.
Yeah. The unconscious manages so many things. So, I want to summarize our conversation with maybe a quote or something, a sentence or a quote or a proverb, something that you heard maybe in the past or that helped you change in your perspective in your life or something that inspires you.
Well, Actually, this really happened to me. In Venezuela, we have like a big mountain, and it has zigzags. And people that are fit, they walk fast, but it's kind of like this, like in treadmill, it's the highest inclination. So sometimes are 10 or 15, but that's the highest. And people that are fit, they reach the top in give or take 17 minutes. 17 minutes. So even though I played basketball and soccer all my life, I didn't have training going up mountains. So a friend of mine told, actually a female friend of mine says, "Hey, come on, let's go with me." I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's go." So in the third curve, I was like, and she looks at me, is like, "Hey, I'm seeing you play in the same day 90 minutes of soccer, and then you play at night the 40 minutes of basketball. What's wrong?" I was like, "I don't know." So when we arrived, it took me 40 minutes. 40 minutes. And when I come down, I remember there's a guy that sells juices and water. And I was like, this fucking mountain's that. And he looks at me like this. He's like, young man, the mountain has been here since we don't know when. Get mad at yourself. So at that moment, I said, "Fuck, this guy had a point because the mountain is going to be the mountain. I was not at that moment the version of me that could do the 17 minutes. So I said to her, how many times a week do you come here? Twice. We're going to start coming 4 times a day, 4 times a week. So eventually I lowered my score or my time to 31, and eventually I did 16. That's kind of the person that I am. And when I realized is that the mountain is the mountain, the marathon, the 26 miles or the 42 kilometers, is the same thing for everybody. You haven't grown into the version of you that does that. So if it's money wise and you only earn $4,000, is because that's where your skills are at this moment. So in order for you to run a full marathon, to climb the mountain, to earn more money, you have to grow into the person that does that like normal. Before, we didn't know how to contain our pee pee and poo poo. That's why we use diapers. And then we learned how to control it. We didn't know how to tie our shoes. It was a problem. And then we became competent. We learned the skills, and now we do. Well, for the sushi thing, the sticks. So everything that you don't know or you consider hard or challenging, it's just because you're not competent enough. And that to me is the reason on why we're here. The more competent you become on everything, the more fulfilling your life will be.
Wow, that's amazing. It's also great for our listeners to remember that the mountain, the things out there, they are not the problem. We can shift ourselves, we can change, we can grow. And it's such an amazing idea. And it's just a simple shift in our mind, the way we look at life, just from a different perspective. Take responsibility back to our hands and don't wait for things to change. We can change them. And it's such an amazing perspective. And it's amazing to hear it also from you that you are constantly changing and shifting your life and helping others shift their life, which is an incredible thing.
There,
So
there,
Juan,
there's
yep.
there's the last part of the quote, because life has two sides. So when you have a goal, you can also think that the goal is that you're going to go into a bodybuilding competition. All right. So in 6 months, you're going to be in your underwear showing your muscles. So in 6 months, for example, when you're on your underwear on the stage, listen to this beauty. We're going to see everything that you did. We're going to see the muscles that you train more, the eat, the how you ate. We're going to see how much you rested. But that's 50%, Yuval, because we're also going to see everything that you didn't do. It's going to show up Everything that you didn't do, that muscle that you didn't like too much, we're going to see that. We're going to see when you had that Coke when you didn't have to. We're going to see when you went out to party at night and you didn't get your rest and you couldn't train as hard as you should have. So life is like also a bodybuilding competition. When it's time to be on that stage, everything that you did, it's going to show up. And everything yet you didn't is also going to show up, my friend.
That's a great motivational thing also to remember. So, Juan, I want to thank you for being with
My
us here,
pleasure.
sharing your insights, your story, and inspire us with such a great, deep knowledge about life, the mind, and the subconscious. So, thank you very much. Maybe you can share with us how people can find you on social media, or get to find also things that you do, or share about.
Easy. At Master Trainer NLP. That's the Instagram. That's the webpage. Master Trainer NLP.
Perfect. I highly recommend. Fascinating person, and you're gonna learn a lot. So, thank you,
Thank
Juan,
you
very
very much.
much. And yep, thank you. Bye bye.